Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 6th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I will say, full disclosure, keeping it real. Despite having a good day, I definitely, started off the day real rough. I had a headache and I was just kind of out of sorts, just not feeling great. And then I don't know, just had a mix of emotions. Sometimes a road, just like a mental thought, you follow a thread and it leads you to some place you didn't think you'd be. And, I just had an emotional moment. Just thinking about my parents, my parents that are no longer here with us. But, it's one of those things where I have those mental moments, and sometimes you just press through them because this has been a thing, decades and in total time. But yeah, time. I was saying this to a person. They have that old adage about time healing all wounds and stuff like that. I do think that's kind of bullshit, but I do think that I guess the truth in it, at least for me, is that you kind of every, 10 years or so, you kind of adapt. You kind of notice that you've changed away from that person, post that person. And that can feel bad, that can feel good, what have you. But you just get more used to the life you're living now, Maybe it's that. And for better or worse, that's just, I guess, what it is for me. I don't know. But, just kind of had a moment. I had to process it, and it kind of, obviously, I'm sure everyone here knows, it sucks having a breakdown at work. It sucks, getting emotional. This is where I'm very blessed in my job, and it's kind of a perk that I'm literally alone in a dumpster. You can cry a little bit, and hopefully no one really notices, So there's that. But I've had moments where I've had to cry, on the dance floor, so to speak, with other coworkers and stuff. And that can suck. But you get through that too. And it's nice when, it's nice when someone comes up on you and they can see that you're crying and they kind of just talk through it. I actually don't mind that. Maybe that's just me being a guy or something. But it's hey, thanks for seeing me in this very vulnerable moment and just being normal about it, I actually like that sometimes. But, enough about the weepy stuff. Like I said, overall, today's been good. A little stormy outside, but nothing too bad. They say it's supposed to be cooling down again. Knock on some wood. Might be fall time coming. I'm ready. This is my peak season. Right before wintertime, I finally get to glow up. I get to get my fits. I get to be comfortable. Whole day, no sweating profusely. I love that. So gearing up for that. Let's see here. I feel like I've yapped enough. So let's go ahead. Oh, also happy Friday, Sorry, I didn't say that. I got right into the sad shit. Hopefully, this energy it catches you whether you're listening to it on a Friday or not. But yeah, let's go ahead. Speaking of taking off, let's go ahead and do our startup, and we'll get into some news. Yeah. All right. Okie dokie. Our first story comes from the Associated Press. Israeli soldiers fatally shot an American woman at a West Bank protest, witnesses say. I was having this thought as I read this headline, and I realized I don't like the wording because when you get into the article, we're really going to get into it. Israeli soldiers killed an American woman demonstrating against settlements in the West Bank on Friday, according to two witnesses who said what began as a peaceful demonstration devolved into a clash between stone-throwing protesters and troops firing live ammunition. Two Palestinian doctors said 26-year-old Ansnur Eygi, which I know I'm getting her name wrong, 1,000 pardons, of Seattle was shot in the head. Now, I prefer a more direct and title, because that's what happened. And if you go to Al Jazeera, that's what it reads as, because that's what it fucking is. Don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. I know fatally shot, what that fucking means. It's just, I hate when they, like, scrub up the jargon, because it's like, oh, we don't want to be too, like, no, dude, like, this is someone who died, period, flat the fuck out. And it's just crazy that you just see the automatic kind of spin machine. That's just how I see it called. But let's continue. I'm sorry. The U.S. government confirmed Eygi's death, but did not say whether the recent graduate of the University of Washington, who was also a Turkish citizen, had been shot by Israeli troops, which is fucked. It's so fucked, dude. Like, how we kind of acted like, oh, man, now this is really disturbing, quoting it, deeply disturbing. But they really wanted to wait until what Israel had to say. Like, let them say what happened and let them do some investigating, and then we'll confirm. No, dude, like, there's literally witnesses, multiple accounts. Like, even you have Israel saying, like, yeah, this is what happened, we're looking into it. Which we all know how this is fucking gonna play out. I've covered this situation time in and time out, and sadly, I'm gonna be fucking covering it again. I'm sorry for swearing. It's just, y'all know this shit hisses me off. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to be prosecuted for this. Nothing is going to happen. They're gonna be like, oops-a-daisy. Essentially, there was a demonstration, and this group has been protesting, throughout. And essentially, today, because these IDF soldiers that came through, they surrounded a prayer group while they were demonstrating, and the reaction was like, hey, there was like some conflict in the sense of like, yeah, they're throwing stones, they're yelling, yada yada yada, but then there's an escalation from soldiers on the roof who decide, yeah, we're just gonna take some of these guys out, and they wind up firing 2 times. One shoots a man and injures him in the leg, and the other one shoots Eygi and shoots her square in the head. And I can understand exactly why people are like, this is targeted. There's no way to say otherwise. And they're going to act like, no, there was an agitator. They were aiming at an agitator and she got in the way. It's not that. It's not what it looks like. We would never do that. But once again, it's just crazy to see the reaction from America to be like, oh yeah, we don't know. Let's wait and see what happens. And knowing damn well that you're not going to do anything here. You're not going to have any real reaction. Whereas, like, if this was someone else, like, another country, another nation state, like, let's say Russia or something, we would be barking from the fucking rooftops about this shit. Let's see. I know there's some more I wanted to cover here, too. On Thursday, Israeli troops shot and killed a 13-year-old Palestinian girl, Bana Laboum, in her village outside the West Bank town of Nablus. Palestinian health officials said there was no immediate military comment on the report. Let's see. I gotta scroll ahead here. I'm sorry. Let's see. Where did I want to start from? At the University of Washington, where Eygi recently graduated with a degree in psychology, Arifani, a professor of Middle Eastern languages and cultures, recalled Eygi's activism earlier this year at a pro-Palestinian encampment and remembered her as someone with a gift of listening to others. Fanny said he had tried to talk to Eygi out of going to the West Bank, but she told him she needed to bear witness for the sake of her own humanity. Now I wanted to remember what I got to. I'm sorry, I got in the weeds here a little bit. But it also goes to show that this was a person who is not an agitator. I don't really feel like any of these people are, because in this situation, look at the reaction. Oh, they were throwing stones at us. So what did we do? We tear gassed them and then shot them with live fucking rounds. And y'all know how I feel about this fucking shit when you see the nation state come down on these kind of actions. I don't care if you're using fucking rubber bullets. That shit's fucking barbaric. Why are you doing this to your own fucking people or your neighbors or just fellow human beings in fucking general? It's crazy. But let me get to Turkey's response, because it is the duality of the situation where you see how we act as Americans. I say this as a person who lives in the U.S. How we respond, which is like, oh man, it's crazy. Who could have done this? When literally Israel's like, yeah, we did it, but like, we'll look into it. Shrug. But in a posting on X, the Turkish Foreign Ministry condemned this murder carried out by the Israeli government. Turkey will work to ensure that those who killed our citizen is brought to justice, ministry spokesperson Anku Kasili said. Human rights groups say Israeli soldiers who kill Palestinians or their foreign supporters rarely are held to account. The Israeli military says it investigates such instances and takes action if there's any criminal wrongdoing. But that's fucking bullshit, dude. They never fucking do. Like I said, more times than not in these situations, these guys, okay, they stop doing the war atrocities and the genocide, and they just get a fucking cool, cushy job and fucking media or whatever the fuck. You just literally get to do whatever the fuck you want, dude. You'll be fine. Just, hey, good work out there. It's crazy how that gets played out. They don't say that with their words, but that's the action, dude. It's fucking insane to me, dude. Let's see here. What else did I want to pull from? I mean, there's more stories, and I'm trying not to go long here. I know I already am. But I really do implore y'all to look at this article. It really does go through some other stories that I've seen on like Twitter, X, the everything fucking app. But I already knew about some of these activists that were literally run over by fucking bulldozers and shit, and literally the people who did that shit, nothing happened to them. People who were shot and killed, no charges, essentially because they were in the way, because they stood in front of people who were about to be victimized and said, you guys gotta stop, what are you doing? And essentially the IDF said, fuck you, bam, or ran you over. It's insane. And if it's not an IDF soldier, it's a fucking settler, dude. Which, literally, internationally, that shit is fucking condemned. But, hey, once again, the good old US of A really doesn't give a fuck. Oh, we'll sanction a couple people, they can't spend money in America. But, what is that doing? I've already told y'all how useless sanctions fucking are. So, here we are, man. I know, I'm in the weeds here, and we just got started. But I needed to talk about this shit. It's so infuriating to see this shit happen day in and day out, dude. So yeah, fuck Bibi Netanyahu. Fuck the whole shit, man. Let's go ahead and move on. From CBS News. Fire tears through Kenya elementary school dorm, killing at least 17 students, officials say. A fire tore through an elementary boarding school dormitory in central Kenya, killing 17 boys and seriously burning 14 others, officials said Friday. The hillside... it's a burp. I'm sorry. Excuse me. The hillside in Indarasha Primary School has about 800 pupils between roughly 5 and 12-year-olds, according to the French news agency AFP. We have lost 17 pupils in the fire incident while 14 are injured. Reuters quoted police spokesperson Riselia Onyengo as saying. The news agency quoted government spokesperson Isaac Muwara as saying the victims were boys in grades 4 to 8, which would put their ages at 9 to 13 years old. We are investigating the cause and will take necessary action, Onyengo said of the fire at the school in Kenya's Nyeri County. AFP quoted her as saying the bodies recovered at the scene were burnt beyond recognition. Police say the blaze broke out around midnight and engulfed the dorm as students slept. Just fast forwarding a bit, I was really surprised that apparently the implication or the thought is that most likely this was arson. And not only arson, that most likely was one of the students that did it. That apparently is historically kind of been a thing. School fires are common in Kenyan boarding schools where many students stay because parents believe it gives them more time to study without long commutes. Some fires have been started by students during protests over the workload or living conditions. In 2017, 10 high school students died in a school fire in the capital, Nairobi. All right. So yeah, that's obviously very unfortunate news. Very bummer summer news to hear and talk about. Sorry, I'm sweating and now I busted back out the sweat rag, y'all. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. All right. Our next story comes from The Independent. Georgia school shooting latest. Colt Gray appeared in court as more charges planned against suspect, DA says. Georgia school mass shooting suspect Colt Gray and his father Colin Gray face a judge Friday at the Barrow County Courthouse in Georgia for their arraignment. Now, you'll notice that I didn't just say Colt Gray here. We did just recently cover the shooting that took place in Georgia. Also, we did find out, at least listening or reading this article, it was an AR. But apparently not just an AR, y'all. It was an AR that Colin Gray, the father, gave to him as like a gift. So this is sounding pretty familiar, right? We covered Ethan Crumbley. There was a verdict on that this year. Obviously, that was a situation that took place last year, if I'm not mistaken, with the fucking timing, although I'm terrible with fucking time. But yeah, it looks like the same fucking playbook. Like I said, this was the eerie kind of fear that I had when that should happen with Ethan Crumbley and the parents, is that we are now moving into a new wave of this shit where we are just going to blame and implicate as many people as we can, and that is how we resolve this issue. It's not changing any of our gun laws or anything like that. It is prosecuting anyone and everyone involved or we think is culpable. We're just going to throw them in the slammer, and that's going to make everyone feel better. But I will say, now noticing the trend, it makes sense. The prosecutors are not picking duds here. They are not playing to lose. When you see the situation with Colin Gray and his son, there are ample signs here that your son has a problem. You know he's getting bullied in school. You know he's having these reactions that are potentially bad, like he's popping off in the Discord, saying he's going to do some shit. He's denying it when the cops come, but like you're actively saying, hey, I'm going to put the guns up, take them away, because it's not just the AR that he has. There's also other guns in the house. So it's like, I'm gonna close up shop if what you're saying is true, officer. I get that my son's being picked on and stuff like that, but like, obviously that kind of stuff, we can't have that. So I understand how the prosecutors go, look, dude, we got a slam dunk, dude. So let's just go for it. You know what I mean? And they're going to play to win here. They're going to play to say, hey, you're as culpable as your son. And when you look at these cases, when I saw Ethan Crumbley's fucking parents, like, these motherfuckers are a goddamn mess. And, good and damn well they didn't leave that. They left that gun out. They weren't fucking doing actual proper safety here. So it's like, yeah, there is some fucking culpability in this. And yeah, it does do the required thing. Like, I literally would listen to other podcasters talk about this shit, survey other fucking people. I understood why that reaction just rings true, and you're like, yeah, no, they do deserve to go to jail too. But once again, when you pan the shit back out, okay, cool, you threw some motherfuckers, you buried them alive, and do you feel better now? Does this solve the problem? Maybe one of those things is true. Maybe you do feel better. Maybe the town feels better. They can have that sense of closure a bit, but that doesn't bring anyone back here. It doesn't bring the students or the teachers that lost their lives that day back. So, to me, I get it. I understand that this is the wheels of justice here moving along, but I still want to see change. Not this, though. You know what I mean? Like, hey, cool, whatever, go off. Once again, this guy's probably culpable. Like, you know what I mean? When this trial comes and hits, and everything kind of hits the fan, I'm sure people are going to be like, yeah, this guy's guilty. And I'm sure there's probably going to be a group of 12 that are going to be like, yeah, lock him up. And that's going to be what it is. Kind of getting back to the article, whatever, with Colt Gray, the actual shooter, most likely, if they find him guilty, he's going to get life in prison. The judge already said, I'm not going to give him a death sentence because he's not an adult. He's 14 years old. It's crazy, dude. So yeah, that's where we're at with it. I don't even want to say it's insane. It's not insane. We talked about this. I literally said this shit was going to happen. I don't like being that guy, actually, by the way. Let me stop myself. That's when your ego gets too fucking big, when you start talking like you're goddamn Nostradamus. But it's predictable. But it's not solving it, y'all. Y'all know it's not. I get it. It gives you that gut feeling of like, well, justice is served. Good that we locked both, but it doesn't do anything. And that's the thing. You want this to not happen as much. It's crazy that the fucking Republican J.D. Vance tagline is like, hey, that's just the facts of life. It's not the facts of life. This doesn't have to happen. It's crazy that when this shit happened in Australia and it got so bad, they didn't do that shit anymore. They fucking locked that shit down. Now it doesn't happen. Motherfuckers gotta pull out some fucking hunting rifle musket motherfucking thing. It's different. They talk about knives and shit over there. Same shit with the UK. It isn't the facts of life. You can change the shit. You can make the story different. So, I'll leave it there. All right, we have one more thing. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Oh, buddy. All right, we have one more thing. Let me do my last break, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. Oh, yeah. All right. Our last story comes from Reuters. Exclusive. U.S. opposition. Ooh, I got a cramp in my belly. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Bear with me, audience. Ooh. Oh, man. I'm keeping this all in. Y'all know that. Oh. Ooh, I'm going to have to actually stand up. This is what happens when you sit like a gremlin. Ooh. Ooh. Now we're doing aerobics. Ooh. I almost want to see if I can like stand and maybe do this. I'm so sorry, audience. I know this is now officially the weirdest episode I've ever done, but I'm not. We're not doing a 2-take Tony. Okay, behind the scenes, we're not doing that. We're gonna run the whole episode like this. So, all right. Let's see if my stomach is gonna. Oh, it's still spazzing. Oh, okay. I just gotta do good posture. This is just a reminder to do good posture. So from Reuters, exclusive. U.S. opposition to Nippon Steel deal. Very unsettling. Japan PM hopeful says. Oh boy. All right, back up straight. One of the frontrunners to become Japan's next premier said on Friday that any U.S. move to block Japan's Nippon Steel from buying U.S. steel on national security grounds would be very unsettling and could dent trust between the allies. The White House is close to announcing that President Joe Biden will block the $15 billion deal, Reuters reported on Wednesday. Give me 1 second. Oh, gosh. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is the realest episode I'm ever going to post. Okay. Ooh. A letter sent to the companies and seen by Reuters said the takeover could hurt the supply of steel needed for critical U.S. projects and make U.S. steel less likely to seek tariffs on foreign steel importers. Whew. I really feel like this deal. We're just getting comfy. I'm holding the mic. I really do feel like this deal is set up just for, or is being blocked for political football reasons. I mean, I'm saying this like that's not like the news, but essentially there's other things about it too. Obviously conservatives like Trump has already said, yeah, I would not like this deal. I would block this deal. So of course, you see the Biden administration saying more or less, yeah, we're going to block this deal. We're not going to make this thing, even though they've let the deal mature to this point and not done anything. So that's kind of a bit sussy. But what made me go, oh, okay, I obviously see the problem is when labor unions go, hey, we don't like this deal. You're teaming, like you're letting U.S. Steel team up with Japan and we're going to get cut off of that deal somehow. You know what I mean? And in that way, I go, oh, okay. And you see that there's an appeal here politically for both sides to be like, yeah, this deal shouldn't happen. Even though I really do feel like both sides, if they thought it was advantageous or the company barked loudly enough, which is more or less what U.S. Steel is doing and you see Japan is doing, you know, as well, this deal wouldn't be happening. So, yeah, that's my summary there, guys. I'm so sorry. I know I'm leaving you here with the craziest episode you've probably ever heard. But that was a crazy cramp, and I'm not gonna redo this episode because what if it comes back? But yeah, don't sit like a goblin. That's a personal note. There's some more here if you want to obviously like read the article and get the real shit. I just wanted to kind of get the gist of this because it's just a thing on the backbeat. It has political ramifications or what have you, so I figured I'd squawk about it for a second. I didn't expect to actually like have a stomach cramp. I haven't had one of those in like a year. And this is a miracle episode. I didn't go over 30 minutes. So yeah, dude, this is raw. This is real. This is real podcasting, okay? You don't get this at other they would be smart and edit it out or just redo the episode. But not me, man. Okay, that's the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, become a newsie today. You really just add to the circus that is this. You really enrich my life. It really is. It's much appreciated. And I try to reciprocate now. Like I said, shout outs. I know I took them off, months ago. But I learned my lesson. So, shout outs are back. If, baby, come back. If you want to, sub again. I don't want to say sub, but like, well, no, I guess you can say sub. Become a patron today. Whatever. Become a newsie. Let's see. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Did I say that already? Whatever. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. That's the free way to hit me up, though. You want to say hi, hello. I'm down to gab. If you want to tell me stretches, like don't have this stomach cramp again, I'd love that. I'm so embarrassed, guys. Let's see here. Feel free to follow me on any of the socials. Me or the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube and any of the platforms. Hit the follow button, whatever the thing is telling you to do. Leave a 5-star, 6-star, 10-star review. Cool comments are always appreciated. Sharing is caring. It can be fun. And thanks so much for tuning in. I love ya. Bye-bye. That's even a pat exit. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.